So in honor of the most recent Dragon Ball movie, which also happens to be my favorite in the franchise now, this bonus objective involved one of 3 movies in the franchise that hold some relevance that would be worth talking about. And how appropriate that you would vote on the one that actually relates to the most recent film. Now, to say that I'm excited to talk about the movie that influenced the new one is a bit of an overstatement, given recent events regarding a certain actor. I'll bring that up when the time is right, but for now, let's talk about the movie proper. Broly, the Legendary Super Saiyan, is the first of a trilogy of films centering around the villain in question, which also introduced the idea that while the Super Saiyan of legend might have been reborn thanks to Goku during his battle with Frieza, the form that the title villain achieved might very well be that actual form which legend spoke of. A form so destructive and powerful that the last one has only been seen over 1,000 years ago. And if Saiyans since Goku have easily managed to achieve a form similar to it, then what would be the true power of one be like? That's what the Broly movie shows us. It's this very concept that Broly brings to us that led to some form of popularity that I'm hoping to find, since it did lead to Akira Toriyama recreating him for the most recent film, with the best parts of his character and some new aspects to make him really lovable. Anyway, in regards to this movie, Broly originally came out on March of 1993 in Japan. And if the fan wiki is any indication, we didn't receive an English release by Funimation until August of 2003. I did buy what might have been a 2003 DVD release copy that has the uncut version, though apparently my copy is corrupt, so I had to get it in pieces elsewhere. Also, like most of the films before and after, it was directed by Shigeyasu Yamauchi, produced by Chiaki Imada, and was written by Takao Koyama. Other than the initial concept of Dragon Ball, Toriyama doesn't appear to contribute much for this movie. Now admittingly, of the films I've seen in their entirety, not counting Team 4-star dubs of course, I've only really seen Dead Zone, Tree of Might, Cooler's Revenge, The Return of Cooler, and of course, the Super version of Broly. The others I either remember seeing partially or just know about because of various sources. So this will be a real treat because I get to see a movie from the 90s that got dubbed in the 2000s, back when Funimation did their own thing. So let's rewind and watch beefy men hit each other! Not that one, the other one. Okay, there we go. So we open with South Galaxy being utterly destroyed. Well, at least the dub says that. Can't wait to see how South Kai explain how he got his galaxy back before the Otherworld tournament. But it seems it was all done by a Super Saiyan.
Just as I feared. We've got to do something! Our galaxy's next!
More importantly, you should really see someone about that effect. It looks very painful on you. Anyway, seeing as how this takes place during the 10 days Cell gave everyone before his little tournament, everyone is just chilling out during a Hanami picnic session. Or if you're like Goku, you're being pulled around by Chi-Chi getting Gohan applied to this school.
So Goku, what are some of your hobbies?
I'm supposed to say I like reading and sports, is that right?
That's correct. So, can you tell me a few of your favorite words?
Favorite words? I really can't think of any words that I actually like. But I can name thousands of my most favorite foods.
Poor Goku. Is there any place he'd rather be right now?
Oh, I just wanna be your puppy!
Probably not there either. Vegeta agrees with me. But more importantly, a massive ship drops down. Hundreds of soldiers come out, and no one seems to really care at first. They probably got used to this after the last time Earth got invaded. Anyway, they're here for Vegeta.
At long last, we found you, Prince Vegeta. You're a Saiyan, aren't you? Yes, I am Paragus. I've come to graciously ask you to be the king of our new planet. Its name is New Vegeta, in your honor. What? A new planet, Vegeta? Yes, my lord. And at long last, we can once again show the entire universe the strength of our forgotten race, the mightiest race, the Saiyans.
And by that, you mean these green-skinned dudes? Of course, Vegeta isn't interested at first, until Paragus mentions the legendary Super Saiyan that's been destroying galaxies lately. And since Vegeta hasn't learned his lesson from Cell, he decides to go anyway. Trunks comes along since his father is an idiot and needs to look after him. And Gohan, Krillin, and Oolong come along because Roshi had to get his drunken ass on board as well. Meanwhile, Goku gets a call from King Kai about what's happening and...
It's an emergency!
No way! I can't leave right now! I'm stuck in a very important interview with Chi-Chi. Plus, if I don't answer all the questions the way she wants me to, Chi-Chi said she won't let me eat dinner or dessert tonight.
At least the humor in this is still as good as ever. Also, hi Jimmy Firecracker! Anyway, over lunch, King Kai tells Goku about the legendary Super Saiyan who took out most of South Galaxy and is planning to come to their galaxy next. Right now, they're apparently still in South Galaxy, and Goku tries sensing them so he can instant transmission over to them.
King Kai, could you tell me which way is south again?
When you have worse directional problems than Zoro, then you have issues. So the reason not even King Kai can find them is because the Saiyan left such a tremendous energy signal. This is some decent build-up for what's to come, since we've yet to see what makes this individual so powerful that he can destroy so much of the galaxy. Of course, since this has to take place just before the Cell games, I wonder how they'd compare to Cell himself. Just saying, if this Saiyan is stronger than Goku and friends, they should be even stronger than Cell. Anyway, Vegeta and crew arrive on New Vegeta. How original. And we finally get to meet our title villain.
My only son, he's at your service, my lord. So I guess you're a Saiyan as well.
Huh, that's weird. It's like they forgot to give him a voice actor or something. How strange. Alright, this is what I was referring to earlier. In most media to feature Broly, he is voiced by Vic Mignogna, or however the hell it's pronounced. And while yes, he can at least act and do some good performances, despite not having as much range or differences as most actors, as a person, he's known for being a sexual predator, particularly with minors, and this sort of thing has been documented for many years, it seems. It's just only now that more people are becoming aware of this and are actually doing something about it. Even many of his peers are speaking out against his general behavior, and even Funimation has dropped him after doing some investigation. Naturally, if you're one to still like various projects he just so happens to be part of, and not let him ruin it for you because you still want to support the other people involved or whatever, that's fine. Just be aware of what's going on and be understanding of why people are upset with him right now. Because again, when even his peers say there's something wrong, and with how a lot of his fans are responding to the allegations, it doesn't exactly do him any favors. Anyway, nothing to go on about Broly, yet. And yeah, I know what will happen, but let's say you're still watching this movie for the first time without knowing much history. When does it become apparent that he's the one we're looking for, and what will happen when they find out? So Vegeta goes off because he hears that the Saiyan has apparently appeared somewhere, and Krillin, Gohan, and Trunks decide to do some exploring since they don't quite trust Paragus regarding the state of the planet. In fact, they apparently enslaved these little aliens from another planet to gather materials for the palace. Said planet was apparently taken out by the Saiyan, but yeah, they get abused. You know what this means.
Stop it! You have no right to treat him like that! Hey. If I were one of you guys, I wouldn't even think about messing with us.
By the way, much like their other dubs before this, Mark Menza composed a lot of the music here. Though they also were sure to bring in some other songs like from Tendril, Pantera, and even Gravity Pool. Not at all! FanWiki just tells me things. Anyway, Goku drops in and gets sucker punched. And apparently Paragus knows who Goku is and that he's related to Bardock. But apart from the enslavement thing going on, he doesn't appear to be too suspicious.
Yes, you're right on target, Comet Komore. Come and get us! Destroy us!
I mean, if you want to be anime about it, I suppose he might be a little bit. Vegeta comes back, learns that Goku's here too, and Goku gets to meet Broly as well. With their choice in music, something bad is about to happen.
Behave, Broly.
Tense indeed. Just what is this guy's deal all of a sudden? And does Goku realize what we're seeing? Well, it seems Paragus does something to keep Broly calm, and it turns out this octopus alien or whatever created the apparatus he's wearing to keep Broly's powers in check. Paragus is concerned that Broly is starting to become an issue, and even thinks back to when Broly grew up and how rather manic he was with that power. So in this version of Broly's existence, he was just straight up mad with power. Of course, Paragus has to control him, even at the risk of his own life, but otherwise, Broly is submissive because of the mind control device. But if he were to get loose, oh boy. We also learned that Broly was born with a power level of 10,000. So combine that with an insatiable thirst for violence and an unnatural rise in power level, Broly seems like he could be the most terrifying thing to exist since Frieza and Cell combined. But once you hear this...
Listen to him wail. That's the spirit. Look, he's making Paragus' son cry. You don't see that every day.
Yeah, and we'll get back to that later, because it's part of the problem I have with Broly in this version of Dragon Ball. For now though, Broly goes nuts and attacks Goku in his sleep. Not even full powered yet, and the rock music makes this pretty damn epic. Compare that to the original soundtrack. I believe this would make it more in line with the show's soundtrack in Japan. And while I can see people liking their use of it, personally, I think the soundtrack we have here, at least for scenes like this, enhance the fights a little more than the original soundtrack. This is a movie after all, so shouldn't the music be more epic just for the occasion? Goku realizes that Broly must be the Saiyan whose energy he was tracking, and Paragus eventually calms him down. We see that the comet that was mentioned earlier is getting closer and closer to the planet, and the next morning, Vegeta is apparently planning to leave. Though he tries saying he found the legendary Super Saiyan, and Goku ends up telling him that Broly is the one. Paragus tries to deny this, but Trunks and the others add on the fact that this planet was a hoax as well. More so, one of the minor alien characters we met confirms that Broly is the one who destroyed their home. And thus, Paragus explains everything.
But do you want to know what I really care about? It's a little sphere in the North Galaxy called Earth. A lush, green, healthy planet. The most beautiful in the cosmos. You have no idea how long I've waited for the right time to re-establish Saiyan dominance. You think I want the Earth to look like this? A barren wasteland littered with battle scars and rubble? I also chose this planet because in a few short hours it will collide with Comet Komore, an astronomical object of colossal proportions. And when you're gone, our rule of Earth or any planet will go completely uncontested.
Okay, so you wanted Vegeta off Earth so you can get rid of him later. Is that what the comet is for? To kill him? Because I hate to tell you this, but he can probably blow it up. I mean, Vegeta can blow up planets, you know. He can probably take out the comet with a final flash. Also, no one tell Paragus about the giant green guy who's just waiting for our heroes to come back and fight him later. Unless you plan to have Broly take care of him too. Speaking of, Broly gets entranced by Goku yet again. He completely brushes off Vegeta's attacks despite him being Super Saiyan, but soon even Paragus can't even control his son for his needs. And well, it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, our title character.
I choose you to be the first of my victims.
No, you don't!
He's the Legendary Super Saiyan.
They're in trouble! Come on, Dad!
He'll kill us. He'll kill all of us.
Truly, we've only just started and already he feels like they're all about to die. Considering what we are about to see though, he's not wrong. Honestly, Paragus's talk of what Broly will do now, mixed with all this action that's going on, is worth hearing about.
Become what I was honored and afraid he would become. The true Super Saiyan, a killing machine. He won't stop now. Not until he has destroyed this entire planet, then the next, until we reach our new home world.
He goes over his backstory on why he hates Vegeta. Apparently, his father, King Vegeta, wanted Broly executed for his tremendous power that might go against him one day. Though it doesn't come off quite as strong as in the new movie, where they elaborated more on what made this power uncontrollable. On top of King Vegeta's pride, of course. Which, if that got in here, it could go well with Broly's uncontrollable nature. And of course, somehow, baby Broly saved himself and Paragus just as Frieza blows up the planet. All of this would have made a good explanation to why Paragus and Broly would want Vegeta dead, since he's the next best thing to his father that's actually alive. They can get their revenge by killing him. Except that's not at all what Broly wants. Oh sure, he got stabbed by King Vegeta, but all he really cares about is Goku. And you want to know why he only goes after Goku? Why he only seems provoked by him and never goes after anyone else unless it's meant to torment Goku? It's because Goku cried a lot as a baby. And that caused some mental trauma.
But that's really dumb. But he's so cool. But that's so dumb!
Seriously, as a baby, would anyone seriously remember what someone looked like or know their name? What exactly gives Goku away as the one for the trauma? Everything else about Broly being a berserker with some desire to be evil is alright, but why couldn't this hate be directed to Vegeta given what his father did? That would make more sense! But no. Because Goku is the only other person who can actually fight and is stronger than Vegeta anyway, so if he can't touch him, no one can. That's really my main gripe with Broly. He's kind of a one-note character where he's just evil for no reason. Driven to hatred because some baby cried next to him for hours on end. The only thing that's remotely good is just how brutal and hardcore he is as a fighter. Watch! Now, Granted, some of the animation feels dated compared to later material, but if you think about it from 90s standards, this is some pretty cool stuff. And again, the soundtrack for a lot of this enhances it quite a bit. It's fitting to the hardcore nature of Broly. Now watch as he talks down on the little aliens that earlier he blew up a good chunk of their race, and then blows up their planet! If nothing else, Broly is given some cool lines to make his evil at least threatening. It's just too bad that, 1, it's Vic voicing him, and 2, he has a pitiful excuse for hating Goku and just being evil because he's powerful. And sure, it's possible to have a memorable villain who's just evil because they want to, but given what we've seen of his backstory, you'd think any of it would influence his actions a bit. But since it doesn't, in this case then it just seems like poor writing. Compared to the new movie, Broly had the unstable power level, but he wasn't influenced to become evil because of it. Instead, he was like an abused child who wanted friends and had no understanding of how to function outside his wild survival instincts. He was sympathetic and kind, and overall misunderstood because he's used as a weapon. You want him to live rather than see him die, which is how I feel here, as Broly is so damn evil he makes me sick. There's more, but anyway, one surprise save from an energy blast, and it turns out Piccolo is here now. How did he get here, and why is he here? Well, he did listen in on Goku's conversation with King Kai, so he definitely knows what's going on. And he got here with a Capsule Corp ship, which is how Krillin and Roshi are getting everyone else off the planet, since the one from earlier got destroyed. Other than provide them a means of escape later, he's about as effective as everyone else. He's just a fly to a behemoth. Even Vegeta, after getting a serious talk from Piccolo about how out of character he is right now, rejoins the fight because he can't stand the thought that Goku can still fight while he's supposed to be the Prince of all Saiyans. But even then, nothing. Nothing can stop Broly. At this point though, Paragus cannot hope to control him, so he decides it's time to leave. But Broly catches on, crushes his pod, and Paragus with it, and chucks him into the comet. Goku remains the one man standing.
Poor Goku. Still not comfortable with the idea of dying. Listen. We must channel our energy to Goku.
I hear you.
Come on, guys. Give me the power to put this guy down for the count.
Oh good, they're pooling their energy together. Maybe this will give Goku the opportunity to become a Super Saiyan God. Oh wait, that hasn't been invented yet. Plus it needs several more Saiyans. Well, it lets Goku stand up to a few more hits. But it takes Vegeta giving him energy before Goku can be something of worth. With the planet about to be destroyed though, can he make it count?
Now the real fight begins. I am not gonna let you get away with that!
That wasn't really much of a beginning as it was the end. As the planet goes boom, Goku manages to warp everyone back onto that other ship, the day is saved, and Goku and Gohan return home to get yelled at by Chi-Chi.
Goku, this is all your fault!
Chi-Chi, my favorite hobbies are reading and sports.
Mother! Mother!
Chi-Chi! You think she'd be used to this by now. Gohan, go get some cold water, hurry! Chi-Chi, honey, wake up. Are you okay? Hurry, go on, go! Oh, no.
Thanks to Goku, peace once again descends upon planet Earth.
At least until the Cell games start. But hey, at least Broly died and would never be seen again in this form. Except until his second movie where he was retconned to have survived exploding, landing on Earth, and got worshipped as a god before being killed by Goku and family for reals. only to be cloned into a mud monster by some jackass who didn't know better, and also died pitifully to a couple children. So yeah, compared to Dragon Ball Super's take on Broly, this was a fun movie in its own right. But for plenty of reasons, I still think Super's version of Broly was better. The thing with Broly is that, in concept, his tremendous power as a Super Saiyan goes well in hand with the legend they established regarding what is the Super Saiyan that was known. And for Broly, he very well embodies the destructive nature that the true legendary Super Saiyan might have had. In his case, though, that power made him corrupt and evil, and he thoroughly demonstrates this the longer he fights our heroes in a hopeless struggle. Granted, it ends with just one blow to him that came after powering up Goku. But because of Broly's backstory, it hinders some of his otherwise significant cool factor when he's only angry at Goku for crying as a baby. Not because of what Vegeta's father did, but a baby crying next to him. That's just so lame and doesn't go well with him being evil at all. Again, Toriyama's take on him for the Super movie was at least better written because they established what made him the way he was. And the circumstance of him being used constantly as a weapon made him misunderstood since he gets forced to fight for survival alone. As a character, that Broly is someone I like, despite still being voiced by Vic, while the Broly here is someone I want to see stopped for being too evil. Yet how they kept bringing him back for 2 movies just seems silly when you sit down and actually see them. I do have to thank this movie for at least starting this legendary Super Saiyan thing in the first place, since it would later be reused for Dragon Ball Super and its first legendary user, Kale. It's nice to see them make use of these ideas that further expand the Dragon Ball world, even if it's just for the fighting elements rather than the story. But otherwise, the action is about what fans would expect from this point in time, especially given the animation quality being rather good for the early 90s. In Japan, the movie grossed at around 2.12 billion yen, just short of films like the Cooler movies and Super Android 13, though this one would end up being surpassed by the second Broly movie, but still remain higher than Bio Broly. Makes sense. I've yet to see anything of the second movie to know if that's any better than this, but so far, for this trilogy, the first movie is at least satisfying enough for any fan to like or love. While I would recommend the new movie over this one, and that's even assuming you're willing to put up with Vic's presence in these movies, I would also give this one a watch if you're in the mood for some hardcore rocking action and some classic DBZ action scenes. Be it dubbed or subbed, it's some good old action from a good old fighting anime that everyone by this point knows and maybe loves. I'm the Media Hunter, media's my prey, and reviewing them my way.
Ew, that was completely unnecessary! Disgusting!